Yo, welcome to episode 22 of the Just the Guys podcast. I'm your host Terrell. Join with me. We got let's start with Denzel. We got Denzel
Yes, sir.
and we got Rod.
What's good?
As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing love, support. The TikToks are going crazy. We could do better on the YouTube though. Y'all subscribe to the YouTube, bro. These visual episodes take a lot of fucking effort. And you get to see our faces and our expressions. They're a lot funnier than the audio ones. So, check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Just the Guys Podcast. We there every Friday, 2 p.m. We there. But let's do the mental health checks and then we'll get into this shit. Cause for the visuals, y'all gonna see us wearing the same outfits for this episode and the next episode. Cause we gotta knock out 2 of these shows in one day. So yeah, we might look the same next week. So but let's start with Denzel. Denzel, how was your week?
Shoot, my week is good. It's just really hot. It's really hot. I probably lost like 5 pounds in cardio this week. Just for how hot it is. It's just really hot. I'm just ready for bring me the winter time. That's all. But everything other than that, everything is good.
I have some Denzel weeks. So Denzel be always having good weeks. Rod, how's your week been?
My week been straight. It's been a little boring, I guess, but that's a good thing. If shit isn't happening, then it's good. So can't complain.
My week is well, we recovered from last episode. Last episode I was mad as shit the whole episode. So we recovered. Everything recovered. Everybody. I recovered the bag, recovered the girl, everything's straight. Everything's great, But I'm not getting into the details. Stop looking at me like that. I'm not getting into the details. I'm not name dropping. I'm not doing none of that shit. People have been listening to the episodes and they've been like, Terrell, I learned so much about you. It's like, bro, I keep a lot of shit off the episodes, like a lot of shit. But like, people have been like, yo, yeah, I can get to know you on the podcast. It's like, no, you can't. You cannot. You like that TikTok. You always gotta keep them guessing.
Except me, I know everything.
This man. What's my favorite color, Denzel?
Next question.
On the spot.
Oh shit! But you want to start with the anxiety? Let's start with that. What do you want to start with, right? Because you got all the topics there.
I want to start with if y'all think pit bulls are aggressive or not. Let's talk about that. So there was this lady, I think it was a 40-year-old blonde woman who had a pit bull. I seen some shit. Let me see if I can find this shit real quick. I sent this shit to Terrell earlier. But yeah, it was a pit bull. Yeah, Taya Lucas is her name. She had a pit bull named Hercules, who she found that was abandoned on the side of the road. And right now she's on her 6th surgery, where a muscle on her back was rolled up into the shape of a bicep and attached to her arm. Well, detached from her arm. Says she was at her home in Texas when her 100-pound dog violently attacked her. The pit bull has never been aggressive before. So she was screaming for help, and that's when her daughter and husband rushed into the living room to save her. She says Hercules has never shown signs of aggression, before, and even slept in bed with her, like, at night with her before, right? So she slept in bed with, the dog slept in bed with her that night, and that's when it attacked her. So it's like, do y'all think that she's leaving out some details? What happened?
It's just it's funny. I think it's
funny that this dog almost fucking killed her, bro. Like devoured her shit. The dog ripped her bicep, ripped her tricep, and there's a big ass scar going down her back.
I know. I seen it, bro.
You see that shit? That shit's crazy.
She almost got clapped being stupid. Listen, look. I think what happens with people when they get dogs is like, so when I got Kovu, right, I didn't know shit about dogs. Like I had like 2 dogs growing up, but like I wasn't taking care of them. But when I got Kovu, like the first thing I did was like start looking up to like looking up his breed and like how people take care of them, his temperament and all that shit. I feel like a lot of people don't go to those lengths when they get dogs. They just get dogs and be like, oh yeah, like it's a pet. all I gotta do is feed them, walk them, take them outside, that shit. But like they don't learn like dogs understand personal space. Dogs don't like being hugged. Dogs tolerate a lot of shit from us, but at a certain point they could just snap. But maybe the dog was just tolerating the fact that they were sleeping in the same bed. And
Right.
she probably rolled on him or something and it pissed him off.
I tell you what it was. She picked that dog up off the street.
That's another thing.
That red flag right there. Like you don't know what that dog been through before you. Like you don't know the past or nothing. So that's liable to happen. Now, if she had it since birth and it was like a pup and it grew up and then it happened, that would be some weird ass shit. But that ain't happened. She said she got it from the street and it was cool. Cool. But that ain't something that's just like that could happen.
Yeah. Like I had a couple like kind of bite me, but he didn't bite me hard. But it was just because of the fact like I was doing some shit that was like pissing him off. Like I tried to pick him up and he hates being picked up. So he like bit my hand, but not out of like aggression, but out of like, bro, don't do this shit. So it's like learning body language of dog. I feel like people don't just don't go to those lengths when they get dogs. I feel like they just get dogs just because they look cute and then that's it.
It says she's had this dog for 2 years though. So, and people rescue dogs all the time. So, I mean, like, there's dogs in shelters. Like, there's dogs being adopted. I mean, it still doesn't explain the reason why this dog would just attack her. I mean, maybe the dog has experienced some kind of trauma, and it just doesn't like being approached a certain way, or doesn't maybe like a certain amount of affection, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it didn't recognize it that night.
Dog. Yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me because, like I said, the dog has slept with her in the bed before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she slept next to the dog before, so it's just like, why all of a sudden does it happen now? Like, why all of a sudden is this dog attacking her now and as viciously as it did? Like, damn near ripped her arm. Well, it did rip her arm and tore her bicep, and just ripped this muscle in her back. I literally was devouring her shit like a titan. And it just came out of nowhere, apparently. But then, like, there's a statistic here. I'm not sure how accurate this is. But it says pit bulls make up only 6% of the dog population, but they're responsible for 68% of dog attacks and 52% of dog-related deaths since 1982. Reported by Time. What y'all think about those stats?
I've never been one to, like, be, like, super like into percentages and all that because like you could pull a percentage out of anywhere. They say black people kill or most of the black on black crime is most of the crime in America. That's not true. So it's like you can find percentages everywhere. So it's like I don't know. I just feel like people.
But if the percentage exists, doesn't it have to be some type of accurate?
Not necessarily. It depends on like the scope of what you're looking at.
So, like, where you take the survey from, or
yeah,
like what you're looking into,
mm-hmm.
or what?
All that comes into account. But like, I don't think. Well, what would be the reason why that number would exist for pit bulls?
Because they're naturally more aggressive.
I mean, but I don't even believe that either. I feel like any dog could be aggressive. Look how aggressive Chihuahuas are.
Yeah, any dog could be aggressive. It's just a higher chance with pit bulls. It's like everybody want to say pit bulls don't do this to people, but it's like, but if you see a pit bull without a leash outside, you're not gonna go over there and just pet it. Yeah. Let's be honest. If you wouldn't do that, then you can't say that shit.
There's this pit bull.
That's all I'm gonna say.
There's this pit bull on TikTok, and his name is Otto, and like it's funny because she has him in the yard with no leash, and all he does is like grab his toy and he looks at people walking by, and he's just wagging his tail. Because all he wants to do is get pet, and he has people just walk up to him and be pet. I feel like it comes down to by nature, like that. For example, I had like a big, I don't know what kind of, I wish I knew what kind of dog that was roaming my fucking neighborhood. It was this big ass fucking dog. And like one day I was grabbing groceries. I was like, it was nighttime too. I was taking groceries out of my car and I was going to take them inside. And then I felt something walk up on me. I heard like the grass rustle behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I turn around, I see this big ass dog. I'm like, oh my God. And he like I got down and he walked up to me like all friendly. I was like, bro, I just feel like if you think about it, like dogs and like stray dogs go under so much fucking like negative shit with random ass people automatically assuming that some of these dogs are just aggressive. I feel like a dog isn't like innately aggressive. That's just how I feel. I feel like it's just what they go through brings them to that point. That's just my take on it. But pit
So
bulls,
you feel like, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I don't even know where I was
I was
gonna
gonna
go next.
say, I was gonna say, you feel like dogs aren't innately aggressive.
Yeah.
Now I disagree with that shit because if they weren't trained, like Denzel said, that dog was from the fucking street. So it's lived this life where it like defends itself, it attacks its food, it breaks the necks of whatever it needs to eat, it gets its scraps, and it just lives, it roams. Like animals that are wild are more aggressive. So if dogs aren't trained and we just allowed them to roam the streets and do whatever the fuck they want, that's when I feel like they would be the most aggressive. That's when they would be like a threat. But if they're trained to sit, to respect you, if they're trained that to know that you're the owner or that you're the dominant person in like the relationship, then they will respect you more. Like they'll be scared. Like you train them younger. I feel like that goes with anything. I think dogs are fucking aggressive.
But would you
I
want
mean,
would you want your dog to be scared of you though?
yes,
That
yes, I
sets
would.
up the relationship for the dog to bite you though. If the
No, it
dog,
doesn't.
yeah, if the dog is scared of you, if I'm scared of something and something's approaching me in a way I don't like, how am I gonna react? I'm gonna want to attack. If I get backed up into a corner, if your dog is scared of you, you back it up into a corner, it's gonna attack you. You
That's
don't
the
want
thing. He's not. It's like a healthy
it's
amount of fear. It's
Yeah,
not like
it's not.
I
It's
step into the room and you go into a corner and ball up. It's more like
yeah.
you
It's,
can
it's more like the dog respects me because it knows if it does something wrong, then it will get punished. It will be put in the cage. It will be scolded. It will be reprimanded. That's how any respect comes. Like it's a part of fear. So it's like I will want the dog to be afraid to do something wrong because if they don't, they're just gonna keep doing the same shit and feel like there's no consequence.
you want to know something?
Because yeah, go ahead.
You know dogs. You know how that saying, or not that saying, but like when you like look at it, like a dog knows it did something bad, or a dog feels guilty. You know, dogs don't feel guilt.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, but like
So it's like
I feel like that supports my point.
it. I mean, look, with the way I see it and the research I've done on dogs and all this stuff is like you can have a healthy relationship with a dog that you don't have to like reprimand them, or like you don't have to like instill any sort of punishment in a dog. You can have like a friendly relationship with a dog and they behave and do everything, and you know, like they don't do anything wrong because you train them the right way, without punishment, without hitting them, without yelling at them and all that. So like even if I were to restart my relationship with Kovu, I wouldn't like tap him on the butt whenever he does something bad, or I wouldn't yell at him when he does something bad. I would go about it a whole different way. So when I get another dog, I'm gonna try this new way of like training and like hand feeding him and all this shit. Because I think Kovu's at the point now where like he's getting old now. My boy's about to turn 3. But like I don't I don't know. I feel like because since dogs don't understand guilt, you're starting like a relationship that fear is involved for them to respect you, and then that leads to more accidents with dogs.
Well, from what I've experienced and how I've trained dogs, that isn't the cause. Like, how would you discipline Kovu if you're not gonna tell him when he's doing something wrong?
Just
How would you
you
discipline
just
him?
don't reward the behavior. With dogs, it
So
comes down to just marking behaviors with treats, and then don't mark the negative shit that they do. So if he pees inside, just don't give him anything. Don't call his name. Don't give him any sort of positive reinforcement so that they don't do it again. When they do something
but you
right,
can give him.
you mark
Go
the
ahead.
action with a treat, and you just keep it going.
Oh yeah, this is psychology 101. But wouldn't you want them to know that it's wrong instead of just like allowing them to do some shit that they're just like they don't do it, but it's like when they do it, it's like okay, whatever. Like it's not a bad thing.
But how do
It's not
you,
necessarily a bad thing.
if they don't feel guilt, how can you tell them what something is wrong?
Well, they don't need to feel guilty to know some shit is wrong because like I said, if I come in this room right now and Freddie's like fucking around with his bed, he knows that that's wrong because I would yell at him or I would put him in the crate for 2 to 3 minutes. And obviously, if I'm separating him from affection, from attention, and I'm just like, no, that's wrong, and I put him away, then he knows that this action is associated with negativity. Like, it's wrong. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
if I come around and he's getting ready to do it, his ears will be down. He'll look at me and be like quiet, or like he'll be like this, timid, and like move really slow because he knows it's wrong.
What does he do to his bed?
He'll move it, like he'll grab his bed, and then like move it around, or like just like, and he ends up ripping the bed. He's done that maybe 3 or 4 times. That's literally his only issue.
So
Is that he'll rip his bed.
Hope does the same thing with his bed, but he humps his bed. So, but
Freddie,
that
stop doing that.
but that is because of like he has so much energy as a dog. I haven't been taking him out like that. So he'll just sit there and hump his bed as a release of energy. So it's not like he's doing it because he knows it's bad. In my case, Co's not doing it because like, oh, I just want to do something bad. He's doing it as a form of, I'm gonna release my energy like this. But if I train them to do it a different way, I can fix that. But I don't know. Dogs, I love dogs.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I'm not saying he does it because he wants to do something bad. I'm saying that he does it because he just wants to do it. Like, he doesn't know it's bad. He just wants to do it. And he probably is Kova neutered?
No.
That's another reason. So it's like he has all this energy. This man wants to bust a nut, basically. You know what I'm saying? And he has a lot of energy. He's all this testosterone. And he's not doing anything with it. But like, if he doesn't know it's bad, he's gonna continue to do that shit. Cause Freddie was doing that too at one point. And like, when I yell his name, he slowly crawls in his bed and he lays down. He'll fucking stop. His ears go down because he knows it's wrong. He shouldn't be doing that shit. I mean, Brittany's the one that likes to fucking punish him. Like, she'll hit him, or she'll tell him no, or spank him, or like whatever. Now, I never had to do that. I didn't even have to do that with Axel, but even Axel knew shit was wrong. If I would come in the room and saw Axel chewing up my fucking earbuds for the 3rd time, and I just bought a new fucking pair, and he's just eating them, he would literally just be there like quiet, like just like be looking. And I'd be like, what are you doing? And then he would sit up straight, and then I would open the door and tell him to get out, and he would run out. That's like the only time that he would just show signs, like he would respond to something that, well, I guess is discipline. That's the only time that he would do that. And that's what I feel. I feel like in order for them to learn quicker, and I feel like how any dog is trained is, yeah, you mark the positive things so that you can reinforce it. That's positive reinforcement, but I also feel like there should be negative too. Like, if you don't want them to do a certain thing, you could retrain them, like you said. You could retrain them, or you could put their ass away. Oh, this man's fucking bugging out and shit with his technology.
Again. That might be the common trend in the visual episodes now. That's funny. It's
probably because of that webcam, bro.
Yeah, that he's not saying much. He's probably getting sent to the fog. I don't know. But I don't know.
No, he doesn't he gets kicked out of
Discord.
The actual shit.
It might be because of his thing. But yeah, I almost died in the middle of you fucking saying some shit. Like, I tried to like pick myself up like this, but like I had my elbow down in the seat and my shit just slipped, and I was like, God,
that would have been fucking hilarious. I wish you did fall. I mean, I'm glad you're okay, but I high key wish you did fall so I could chop that shit up and make a TikTok.
Oh, fuck it, elbow hurts.
Get a highlight.
But I mean, everyone has their way of training dogs. I'm trying to gear more towards like just. I seen this one guy on TikTok and he was just like, I liked his training method, so I might implement that the next time I get another dog. Which I don't know, might be soon. Maybe between the end of this year and then like the middle of next year. Give me like a year, I might have another dog. So he can have a little friend. Cause look at him.
Yeah, this
You
man
know, sad.
Giselle looks dead. Giselle, how do you feel about it?
I mean, shit. How do we keep positive reinforcement with we do as humans? Like, we got laws, consequences for negative actions. I mean, people still gonna do it, obviously. Like, some people just don't give a fuck, but we have those in places to
keep us
in
right,
line.
right?
You know, it's like healthy fear. It just keeps us in line. I mean,
I can't beat somebody half to death because I'll get locked up for it. I'll lose my job. I
yeah,
mean,
it's the
otherwise, like
same thing with
if I had a
dogs.
problem with somebody, I beat their ass. It's as simple as that. So we run the fade. We don't want to fight in public because we get arrested. I feel like it's the same thing. That dog did something that he's not supposed to fucking do, or she's not supposed to do. Her ass getting arrested. Simple.
But it sucks because they're gonna have to put that dog down now.
Yeah,
Well, after that,
That shit sucks.
I don't want no
if I have,
£100 pit. Yeah.
if a dog did that to me, I don't. Yeah, it got to be put down. You're not gonna do me like that and still be on this earth.
Facts.
Hell nah.
Facts.
It's eye for an eye. You gotta go. You
I'll
gotta
be
go
like,
be
you know what,
doggy,
dog?
doggy leave
I'll
Jesus.
be right back. Be right back. I'm
Shit,
gonna old
fuck
yellow
that.
your ass. Send him to the backyard.
Rip my
Come out here real quick.
tricep
I got a
off
treat
and my
for
back. Nah, you about to go, up top. See you later.
you. Yeah.
But
Send him to doggy heaven.
y'all want to switch to the anxiety thing?
Yeah, so speaking of fear, I had this thought the other day. I was thinking, like, why do people I feel like there's an influx of people experiencing anxiety. Like, I know it's a natural thing, and I feel like it's introduced when you're in a new area, around a new crowd, something that's not really familiar to you, or when you're doing things that's new. It's like whenever there's change, I feel, and just a new stimulus, I feel like we get anxious, and there's anxiety when we're excited to do something too, but it's usually a cause of like nervousness and unfamiliarity. So I want to know, do y'all think fear is like a byproduct of anxiety, or like it causes anxiety, or like there's some of it instilled in it? Like, do you think they go hand in hand? Like, how do they correlate, if you think they do?
Two
Well,
sides of the same coin.
the two sides of the same coin.
Yep.
I
Two
can agree.
different things, but they're at the end of the day, they both part of the same like basis. Like they both part of each other.
I can agree
Anxiety
with
can
that.
cause fear, and fear can cause anxiety. It's just what you feel one more than the other.
Hmm. Do you feel like anxiety is more so a negative thing than positive?
You can have positive anxiety, like when you're getting married and you see your wife going down the altar. You get married, you feel anxiety, but it's not like I'm scared. It's more like I'm about to get married or she look beautiful. Da 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 da. It's like good anxiety. That's a thing. It's like anticipation. You call good
Excitement.
anxiety, excitement, and anticipation. It's like those two things are anxiety, but in the good wavelength. Like it's like you're happy. Like when you win the lottery, you're anxious. Anxiety, like you're anxious, but it's like it's not for like something negative. It's just positive. Now you're in a forest and there's a dude with a chainsaw trying to kill you. You're gonna be anxious as well, but not for good reasons. You're gonna be like, damn, I might be a pack in a couple seconds. But that's something completely different. But it's like that's basically anxiety and fear is just like it's kind of like the same. It's kind of like the same feeling. It's just like yeah, fear and anxiety is kind of like the same thing to me, at least.
I think
What you think?
'cause I used to have like I was actually anxious as fuck yesterday for no reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because like yesterday was like my only like rest day, like the only day I wasn't doing anything at all. And I just want to knock out everything already for the rest of the week. 'Cause my rest of the week is kind of like booked because today we got to record, tomorrow I have to work, Friday I have some shit to do, and then I'm gonna go to Rod's house. Saturday I'm doing my hair, so it's like I want to get all this shit out of the way. So that's probably why I was anxious. But I had like the Foot Locker days at Southland. Like I had this. I noticed one day while I was going on my break and I was walking through the food court. I was like, damn, like I feel super uncomfortable right now. Like I just feel like everyone's like looking at me while I'm walking through this food court. And I'm like, damn, do I have some sort of like social anxiety? And I was like, most likely. But then it's like as I got older, I was just like, bro, like it just comes from like the fear of like people watching you and like you fuck up and then like you feel like that just sticks with people. You feel like, oh, like people are just judging the fuck out of me right now and all that shit. But in reality, everyone that walks out in public is only thinking about what they're doing. Like, how often do you remember a time where anybody like fucking like maybe like did that, that shit where you're walking and like your foot kind of like just gets like you kind of like trip on nothing and you're like, damn, I hope nobody's seen that shit. I had that shit happen and I was like, how many times I see that on the daily and then instantly forget about it like 5 minutes later. I was like, why am I tripping on what the fuck people think? But it is rooted in like some sort of like fear, I think. But in reality, nobody, like, if you have social anxiety, like just think about it like this. Like, how often do you see people fuck up in public and then you instantly forget about it? Unless they're doing like some super like cringy like TikTok shit, like they're standing on top of a table doing some shit. That's probably the only time something's gonna stick out to you. But if you drop something, if you trip or whatever, nobody fucking cares. But in reality, everyone's only worried about what the fuck they're like, what they got going on. Like, oh, I hope I don't fall, or I hope I don't drop this, or like whatever. Everyone's in their own head. But I feel like anxiety is rooted in some sort of fear, like the fear of what if, like what if this happens or what if that happens type shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. Honestly, you hit both of y'all hit every point. I just think sometimes it's from like it can be a cause of a lot of things. Like you said, being nervous for new shit, or like being scared, being excited for things. I feel like sometimes it's more negative, just because it like anxiety keeps you like alert and on edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I listen to that song "Anxiety" by Logic, it's anxiety with a Z. He was saying that anxiety got so bad at one point that it caused his body to like shut down, like caused him to be exhausted, and he wasn't physically exhausted. It's his brain that was exhausted. And I was thinking like, how does that shit get so bad to the point where your brain is just tired of that chemical release and you need a break? Like, you've been overstimulated. That just didn't make sense to me, because like I've never experienced it, but obviously like the body can control the brain. The brain can control the body. But for it to get that bad, like what the fuck do you have to be going through for it to get that bad? As a millionaire though, millionaire, because obviously people have it really bad in this world. Like, people's living circumstances are very shitty. But for him, as an artist, how does that shit get so bad to the point that you're hospitalized for it? For anxiety?
I can see it though, low key, because if you think about it, if you're in the spotlight like 24/7, every time you go out into public, you have a camera in your face, you have paparazzi, you have this and that, and you have to like. Remember, the last episode where you're like, oh, Terrell's like Terrell puts on this super professional thing on the podcast and all that shit, but I'm a whole different way outside the podcast when we're just sitting in a Discord call. I feel like as a celebrity, as a rapper, like you always have to uphold some sort of like professional image, because the moment you slip up, you're on TMZ or you're trending for some dumb shit. So I can see why he will have some sort of like anxiety attack in public, being like a millionaire rapper. You always have the spotlight on you.
Anxiety can kill you?
I don't think
if it can stop your breathing, cause you to have like a panic attack.
I think anxiety can like induce other health problems, but I don't think anxiety itself can kill you.
Well,
I mean, it can. It's called shock.
Or that. You can go into a state of shock. Forgot about that.
Like, imagine it's a lot of examples in movies, but like let's say you just walking down the street, right? And it was a fucking I'm gonna go into some Attack on Titan shit. You just walking down the street, and like for whatever reason, don't ask how it happened. It's just like you just see a line just come across like your path of walking, and it just goes past your arm, right? And you just like, the fuck happened? Whatever. You keep walking. And then, out of nowhere, your arm falls off. And blood is just... You're going to go into shock and you may die. Not from bleeding out from your arm, just from the shock. Because you can't register, like, what the fuck just happened? My arm is gone. All these thoughts is just hitting you all at once. And you'll go into a state of shock. And you can die from that. But that's an extreme case of anxiety. Like, anxiety can kill you, but it's like that. But you're not... like anxiety can kill you, but it got to be extreme. Like it got to be physical. It has to be involved, and that's where shock comes in.
Yeah, like
Sometimes
treating
people
a
could,
patient for shock, like for
yeah,
trauma.
sometimes you could go into shock. Like people go into shock when they hear about, let's say, their mom passed or their mom died or got kidnapped or something like that, or something happened. God forbid, something happened to somebody's mom. Somebody may go into shock over that and may die. It's definitely possible. It depends on the situation and what's going on. But shock is basically anxiety at its tip top, worst type of tier. And yeah, like anxiety can kill you, but it takes a lot. It depends on the person, from person to person. Some people may be able to that happen to them, and they'll just be like, "Okay, calm down. I gotta get a tourniquet," and they'll just boss up about the shit and make sure to keep themselves alive. It
Mm,
depends on the person. People built different, so it's like,
Facts.
that's
yeah,
true. I don't know about y'all, but I'm never letting my fucking brain control me with some shit, some fear that I think is there.
But look,
Especially if it's like life or death. I'm not letting that happen.
it's a for y'all that because I know a lot of people are probably like they listen to this and they have some form of anxiety. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to have anxiety. Everyone has some form of anxiety at some point in their life. It's okay. It's all right. Just don't let that shit, overwhelm you. You have a long life to live. You have a bunch of time. So you want to switch topics? No,
I just wanted to say it's not cool to be a pussy though.
it's
Like,
not cool to be a pussy. You're right, but it's okay to be
like
anxious.
it's yeah, I agree. Just like, because I feel like a lot of people. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say a lot of people because I don't know how many people deal with this, but I don't know if it's just the new age that we're moving into, like with how things are more acceptable. But it seems like everybody is going through some shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, life is hard. Like it's obviously difficult. It's not the easiest thing. You don't just live and have like a cheat code to life. Like you have to figure it out. But is it just me or does it feel like everybody has like some kind of issue? Do y'all feel this?
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's like a new age thing. I think our parents had a lot of shit too. It's just they dealt with it a different
Differently?
way. Yeah, because they didn't have the internet where like people can relate on a bunch of shit that if I'm anxious about being in public, I can go on Twitter and find like 1,000 other people that feel the same way. Back then, they just had to tuck their shit and just keep it moving, or they had to deal with their toxic ass parents. This next episode might be about generational curses. We might have to talk about generational trauma and all that
Do you
shit.
think that motherfuckers were tougher because of that?
I feel like okay, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I feel like
Yeah,
yeah,
because I feel like a lot of people are soft.
I feel like yes, and then no. I feel like the way we see mental health now and the way they used to see it back then is like completely different. So like, yeah, they could be tougher on the surface, but then like, what did that toughness do for them? Because now you try to instill that same way of learning to your kids, and then that passes down, and then it just comes off as like some form of trauma down the line. Because now you have to tuck your shit, and if you don't tuck your shit, you're a pussy. If I'm emotional about some shit as a guy, and my dad used to get his ass whooped for being emotional, and now he's trying to instill that on me. Yeah, I'm tougher, but my upbringing wasn't the best. You get me? I had to learn how to deal with my emotions by myself, or like just tuck them all the way away until I just didn't feel anything type shit. So I feel like it's good and bad, but I feel like we just have to be like vocal about how we feel, but to a certain extent to where we're not just like super emotional 24/7. Like we have to find
Right.
that middle ground of like communicating our feelings without it coming off as, oh, I'm a pussy type shit.
Yeah. Because I definitely think there's times where like you definitely need to let your emotions flow because it's healthy and it's just how your body works, your brain works. But I also feel like at a certain point, like when is enough enough? Like when are you gonna have mental fortitude? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have to still be, you still have to face like your emotions and be like, okay, this is just how I feel at the moment, and like push through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting your ass whooped for being emotional is wild. Like that's terrible. That's definitely gonna cause trauma and a generational curse, like you said. But I feel like when you are feeling emotional, and if it's definitely too much to deal with, you should talk about it. You should have an outlet. You should be able to express how you feel and relieve some of that emotional stress. But at the same time, if it's recurring, there may be a deeper problem. Or if it's recurring, then maybe it's just like stop letting that shit affect you.
I think that's easy.
Type.
I think that's easier said than done when it comes to like people and their mental.
Excuse me.
I feel like if someone can have like an outlet, right? Let's say me and you have a conversation, right?
Mm.
I think the person would like, let's say me and you have a conversation, it gets emotional, right? But then you sit there and say, oh, you're getting emotional about this type shit. Then you're shitting on it, right? I feel like if people can have like an outlet where they can speak on their emotions without it getting shitted on, I feel like then we can kind of nip that recurring thing in the butt. I feel like a lot of people just kind of like shit on the fact that certain people are just emotional more often than others, and then we get into the cycle of, oh, it's always going to be a thing type. But these conversations like these make me so nervous to have like a kid. Like, it's like, damn, like I'm trying to explain this shit at 26 to a kid that's like fucking 3 is gonna be like so hard to like. I feel like a lot of people just have kids and expect them to just be like they just know like this is bad. Like they don't know shit. They're 3 years old. Like we talk to kids like they're adults. And but back to the point.
I'm
Like
gonna be one of those.
I don't even know what parenting style I would want to do. Like I just don't want to bring my kid the way I was brought up. So
Right. I'm gonna teach them right from wrong, and I'm gonna let them do dangerous things. If that makes sense, I'm gonna let them do dangerous things, the risky things, but I'm also gonna hold them accountable for what they do, and I'm gonna just teach them to be brave. Like I don't want no weak ass little kids, bro. I don't like. Cause I feel like I have to teach my kids to be determined and to be strong headed, and if that's just not how they are, then that's not how they are. But still, they're gonna have that foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if they want to climb that tree, they can climb that tree for sure. But like when you fall and scrape your shit, like it's a scrape, it's gonna heal, it's gonna hurt. Like you'll be fine. Get your ass up. You'll be fine. Go play, go do whatever. But it's like I'm gonna hold them accountable. Like if I tell them not to touch the stove because that shit's hot, like it will burn, and they touch the stove, I'm gonna crouch down, look at them, and be like, "Let me clean you up." I'm gonna clean them up and be like, "Now what we learned? That shit hurt, didn't it? Don't touch the stove anymore when it's hot. Don't play around a hot oven or a hot stove." Like that's how I'm gonna treat my kids. I'm gonna treat them like that. Obviously, you don't be like, "Oh, you fucking idiot! Like you should have done this." You don't beat their ass because they just harm themselves.
yeah,
You just tell them like, "This is a sharp instrument. You chose to mess with it, and I told you to be careful around this. Like I instructed you to do this, and it's for your safety." That's how I'm gonna like talk to my kids. That's how I'm gonna speak to them. I'm not using the little ass words. I'm not baby talking. None of that shit. I'm not doing that. I'm teaching them. Like obviously they're kids, so they're only gonna have a certain amount of responsibilities, like to keep their room clean, not to be fucking messy all the time. This is like obviously when they can clean and like they're in like elementary school, middle school, shit like that. So it's gonna be to play, like active, healthy play, to do their chores, to do their homework. Those are their 3 responsibilities, right? And I'm gonna give them freedom to like live and to make decisions and shit like that. And I'm gonna try to be as open minded as possible. And I'm probably gonna like give them an allowance depending on like how often they do chores and like how outgoing they are with that kind of stuff, so they can save up and make like spend their money like of their own free will. You know what I mean?
yeah,
On shit that they want. Like I'll advise them like, hey, I know you want this right now. I know you want those cool new shoes right now. But like, wouldn't it be better to save your money so that you can get something even nicer, like that bike that you wanted? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like this bike or this and that. And it's not to say that they're only gonna be buying the shit for themselves. Like I'm not gonna get them gifts and stuff like that. Like obviously I'm gonna take that into account. But I just feel like with kids, it's important to give them freedom to grow. I think it's really important to give them freedom to grow and to protect them, and for them to know that they are supported. I feel like that's the most important thing when it comes to kids. They don't need to be smothered. Obviously, they need to be given love and affection, guidance. They need to be taught things, like literally taught things, like how to act, like when you're out and about, like how to be social, how to give respect, look people in their eyes when they speak,
How to
how to
count
say
money.
yes sir, thank you sir, how to what?
How to count money.
How to count
Count
money.
money,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
I
all
see
that shit is
motherfuckers in high
important.
school that don't know how to count.
And it's fucking stupid. It is so stupid. Like these things are basic. They don't learn these shits in school. This is basic shit that I will teach them. I'm teach them how to iron. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show them how to cook basic shit like eggs or some shit like that, and why we grease the pan and like all kinds of shit like that. These are things that I feel like are like that help them grow up to healthy, functioning people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're just not like stupid ass teenagers. Like you want them to have a basis for some shit.
One thing I would do with my kid is like every day just ask them like what's on their mind, like how's their day going type shit. Cause like, I had moments as a kid where I was just like I was like, damn, like I don't wanna like I had a bad day, but I didn't want to talk about it unless someone opened that door for me and was like, look, like even now, like my mom doesn't really ask me like, how's your day been, Terrell? Like, how you doing? How's everything? Like I don't get that now. So it's like as a parent, I'm gonna make sure like I always know like not to even be in their business like that because I understand like at a certain point when they're coming up, they're gonna want their privacy and all that shit. But just to make it known, like you ever want to talk about anything, got you. We can talk about it, whatever. I'll listen. I don't even have to give you advice. Cause I do this shit with my mom where I just vent about some shit and she's like, I'm your mom. I'm always gonna give you advice. And it's like, Mom, I don't want your advice right now. Like I just want you to sit down and just listen. That's it. I don't need no advice. I don't need none of this. I don't need to know how you would handle. I just want you to sit down and just listen. That's it. And she doesn't, give me that sometimes. But I feel like with my upbringing with my mom, like my mom did a lot of things right that I don't want to shit on him, but you catch my drift. My mom did a lot of things right. She had that door open if I wanted to talk about anything. I was 16 talking to my mom about sex. Like, oh yeah, I had sex, blah blah blah, like type shit. So I fuck with my mom, and her parenting style kind of like changed as I changed growing up too, because she had me at 18, so like I watched her grow up too. So like at a certain point, I was like, I don't need you to be this mom. I want you to be like this mom. And she kind of picked up on that and was kind of like, all right, this is how I gotta be. I gotta be more open with Terrell. I gotta let Terrell do his own things because I'll sit there and be like, I want to do this, and they'll be like, no, we can't do that. And it's like, why the fuck can't I want to do it? Like, I don't want to go to college right now. I want to wait to go to college. I had a whole fucking shit about that. And it's like, bro, just let me like, I'm 18 now. Like, let me make my own decisions. Even now, it's like, if I say that I want to do something, my mom's like, are you sure you want to do that? It's like, I'm 100% sure. Fuck the consequences. If I want to quit my job right now and go do something else, I'll do that.
I want to fucking do that, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I'm like today there was like a lot that I had to do. I didn't really get any of that shit done. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, I have to fucking go to work tomorrow morning. Like this shit is so annoying.
Ew, bro. I close tomorrow. I've been closing the last like 5 days in a row, just closing. I'm like, fuck. But Denzel, how would you handle your upbringing of your children? Like, you have anything you would do specifically?
I'll just be around. Like I ain't know my dad. Like I know him,
Mm-hmm.
but I never like connected with him. And my mom passed away when I was like 11 years old. So, but I do remember when I was with my mom, she was like cool as shit. I definitely got my ass beat when I was bad in school though. Don't get me wrong. I remember, that toxic. It was only got okay. My mom only whipped my ass one time.
That's
Living
not
with my
bad.
mom only once, and that's because thinking back, I deserved that shit because I was bad as hell. But just one time, but it was like I loved her to death, and she was cool as hell. And I said like, if I had kids, I'm a be there for them, do the best I can, teach them things. That's like the extreme emphasis. I need to teach them like how to do things like count money, stuff like that. Because I see a lot of kids that don't know how to do basic shit, like basic shit that I
Yeah.
was doing when I was like 10, 8, and I have a dad, and my mom was at work all the time. This is stuff that I learned myself. But it's like if I have kids, I want to teach them these things. They don't gotta learn these things. Like basic stuff like doing your well. The thing I'm gonna struggle with is homework because I ain't do no homework growing up. I never did homework. I never did homework. Like I don't know how I never got left back, but I just never did homework. I did my work. I ain't really caused too much. I ain't caused too much problems after like when I got to like 7th grade. Like I kind of just chilled out with the bad shit. I was really bad. I just ain't do no homework. Like I just So when I'm telling my kids, I'm gonna have to lie through my fucking teeth. Like, do your homework. It's very important. Like you gotta get this done. Da 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 da. The whole time I ain't do that shit. So that's gonna be a little hard for me. Just knowing how it was for me, but everything else, like supporting them, being around, making sure I'm there for their birthdays and everything. Like that shit matters, especially as a man. Like being a father, like it matters that you're there. Supervising. Like that's very important, and a lot of kids don't have that shit. Like everybody like to say that, everybody's getting brought up now, and with the single mothers doing okay. Like we need dads to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
not just show up once a year and give you $100 or take you in the summertime to get you some shoes. Like, you need to be around, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even if you're not really fucking with the woman like that, like, you need to, be in your child's life so they'll have a dad, you know what I'm saying? So they can, it's just better for their upbringing, as a whole than just one parent. And that same thing goes for the guy. Like, if you're a guy and you're a single dad, then like, gotta have like, you know, the mom got to be in there too. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that the dad is the most important. Like mom too is also important. For when the dad gets off his top and goes crazy. You know how that go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Fuck moms right now. We on for dads. Dads don't get their flowers, to be
They
honest,
don't.
because they always have to. They kind of just like take the back line. I want to say for parenting. Usually the mother is like the strong voice. Well, actually, it's different. It's different for everybody. But just in society, how we paint it is like the mother is a strong voice, and the dad is usually like the second voice. So I just want to say that an importance. I want to stress the importance for fathers like their guidance, and just teaching both kids, both sexes, like the woman or the girls at that point in their life, to teach them that a good man is like this. You know what I mean? A good man is like this. Be a role model for like a good man, so they know what a good man is. And then for the young men, the young boys, you have to teach them like, as a man, you should carry yourself this way. You should value these things and not these stupid little things that you might hear your friends talking about right now, because those things are gonna fade away, and it's not gonna amount to anything. So I feel like it's just a lot that you should be doing as a father that it seems like we shouldn't be doing, or it seems like we don't have to do, and doesn't really get appreciated because, like I said, it isn't spoken about. But I think that for sure it's important, and it definitely makes a difference in a lot of fatherless households, or not even that, because like a lot of us that have issues, or even don't really have our parents around. Shout out to you. Turned out to be great people. Like we turned out all right. You know what I'm saying? But we're anomalies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
shit's crazy. Shout out to my dad though, because he could have definitely chosen to make us a statistic. But he stepped up and decided not to. So I'll forever respect him for that. That man he's a great man for sure. Part of the reason why I am the way that I am, and I never knew it until like I got older and started catching on to things, like saying that I'm actually like this motherfucker. Why am I reading books? Like, why do I care about fitness? Why do I care about health? Why do I care about communication and being there? And it's like he literally was there even when he honestly didn't have to be. So I really think it's important. It's really important on changing people and their outlooks for sure. All those things go hand in hand. But speaking on family and like relationships with family, do you think it's important for you to have a good relationship with your partner's family, be it girlfriend, wife? Do you think it's important?
Listen, man. I feel like we've been super monotone this episode. Look, for real, I'm always anytime my whoever I'm dealing with brings me around their family, I'm always like that. I'm always like, oh, Terrell's such a good guy. Terrell's this, Terrell's that. Anytime I got with somebody, their family loved me. Anytime. And then when I'm not around, guess who still asks about me? The motherfucking mom, the dad, all of them still, the brothers, everybody. I make sure to have a great connection with them. Now, on the other hand, it's the same thing. Like, although my mom kind of didn't like my last girlfriend, she liked the girlfriend before that though. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah,
that's
fuck
the
that girlfriend. If mom doesn't like her, then she's a op. Fuck that girlfriend.
listen. My mom liked the first one who cheated on me over my last one. I'm like, no, she was like, oh, you had a better relationship with the first one than the last one. I was like, Mom, are you serious? I was like, Mom, we just kept a lot of shit like under wraps. Like
Yeah.
that shit was ass. Bro would tell you that shit was ass. I'll be complaining at work all the fucking time about this girl. I'm like, bro, this fucking girl again with this dumb shit, and she worked down the fucking hall too. So it's like, I can't even get no shit off because like she works in the mall with me. So I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like, but the family, I feel like it's really important to have like a good, especially if you trying to have like a serious relationship with somebody, you have to have like some sort of like good relationship with their family. Like I'll sit there and like be like, all right. Cause like when the girlfriend or like when your significant other is not around, you just sitting there with the family, where you're gonna be mad awkward. Like you gotta
Yeah.
have some sort of like relationship with them. And I find it fun like to have like another like a family away from like your family. Cause when I was going through shit with my family at the time with my last girlfriend, I would like go to her house and just chill with her family. Like whether she was like there or not, I'll just sit there and just chill, just talk. We'll play fucking chess. They taught me how to play chess. We'll sit there and play chess and like play games, watch movies, all types of shit. And they're like, yeah, like if you ever want to come over, you can. Like it's okay. Just let us know. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But it's nice to have that. So it's like whenever I get with somebody else, you know, hopefully I can have that same relationship with their family.
Son-in-law.
A son-in-law. Facts. Facts. I'm down to be a son-in-law. I'm 100% ready right now.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm finna look for a chess game right now, and I know I can find one that's free. Since I know you know how to play, you finna get fucked.
You probably I haven't played that shit in like 3-4 years.
I don't give no fucks. Chess online, this shit is free. I'm already on this shit.
It is free.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
play.
Play a friend. Oh yeah, sign up. Yes sir. I'm gonna send this shit to you right now. Fuck you talking about.
But Denzel, do you think it's important to have a good relationship with your partner's family?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Damn. Why the no?
Because sometimes they just not gonna like you, and you can't force them to. So in that case, you just you be cordial, but you just don't fuck with them.
You got a point.
And if they do, then that's good. That's it's like a bonus, but it's not required. I'll say that it's not required. Cause you truly love that person, it won't really matter. Not on no toxic shit like.
Man, Rod, look at him.
He got the notification and he's shook up. Hey, but yeah, bro. Continue, bro. Continue.
But yeah, it's not like I wouldn't say it's a requirement because I mean with my past two girls, they family liked me too. Like it wasn't like no smoke or nothing. I ain't meet nobody that was like. I ain't meet them and it was like, ooh, like I don't fuck with you, or they gave me bad vibes, like they ain't fuck with me. It was all love and stuff. It's just if I ever get with a girl and her family don't like me, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
op ass mom and dad, like, alright. It's
I feel like
whatever.
it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not hard if they don't like you, because I mean, you still get your shit off. It's like, yeah, I'm still with your daughter, so how the fuck you feel? But at the same time, it's like you really got to do some shit that's
my
wrong.
God.
You really got to do some shit that's wrong for the family not to fuck with you. Like, if a family doesn't fuck with me, they gotta be racist. Ain't no way. They have to be racist because I be doing everything right. Like I watch what I say, I watch what I do, watch my mannerisms.
Facts.
Wonder how I would feel like if it's me talking to their daughter, or like if it's my kid and this kid is talking to, you know what I'm saying, my daughter. Like how I would want them to act. Not saying that I put up a front, but I always try to put my best foot forward, and I try to be the best person and like the best acquaintance to them. You know what I mean? So that they feel comfortable around me. So like if they really don't like me, I either they have to be ignorant or racist. There is no in between.
I try to be as especially if I'm under their roof, I try to be as respectable as possible. Like I don't like what my experience was like when I'm under their roof and I'm with my girl. I'm like, bro, look, I don't feel no type of comfortable kissing you in front of your parents right now. Like, I don't want to do anything that comes off as too inappropriate because I want them, of course, to like me. It's like, if I'm going to be in here, it's going to suck if they don't like me. So it's like, at a certain point, it might cause some friction down the line. Like, oh, your parents don't fucking like me. That might spark like an argument somewhere. So it's like, I don't like try to put on an act. I just be myself. But I try to be like, super respectable and like professional, and then when we're outside it's something different. But
this man Terrell turns into Tyler. I see you.
Shut the fuck up.
From Terrell to Tyler. That's probably how he get Tyrell. One of our friends calls Terrell Tyrell because he be acting like that.
Shit, I hate that Tyrell. Shit so fuck. That shit. I have somebody at work that calls me that shit. That shit's annoying as fuck. SK calls me that shit because that's not my fucking name. That is not my name. My name, there's no Y in my fucking name. There's an E. There's 2 E's. How the fuck you get Ty out of TE? How? Give me a good reason. Give me a good reason. And I won't complain.
Can't read.
SK, you can't read. The person at work, you can't read either because it's on my fucking name tag.
I think SK does it because it pisses you off and it works. Yeah. Obviously,
you give him ammo, so he just keep coming for that shit.
What's that?
He call him KS, and I'm just like,
it's not going.
So.
It's not gonna hit, man. I need something. I don't know him like that, so I can't really fucking.
That's call him Mike. Call him Mike. That's his.
Call him Mike or tell him that he's a fucking random. That man's name is folded. Like the fuck. Tell him he's a random.
I'll get him.
This person at work, I don't know what the fuck they got going on. That's like people call me when they say Roderick. Roderick. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm just like,
did I call you Roderick? But I do that piss you off with that.
Roderick, piss me off, though.
Like Roderick.
Piss me off. So it's just like, I mean, I guess like this. I was like, yeah, just so you know, the E is silent, and the bitch is like Sir Roderick sometimes. It's just like it doesn't bother me. I don't care. You can say Roderick. Fucking Don calls me Green Man sometimes. Like my other homeboy.
Where Green Man come from?
My last name. My other homeboy sometimes calls me by my middle name. That shit don't bother me. Like they're all names. They're all fucking tied to my government. So that shit doesn't matter to me.
Roderick
Green Man
is
the most random one to me.
I mean, I get
name. I know, but like Green Man though.
Yeah. Like, he would be like Jolly Green Giant, and then he'd be like Green Man. And I was like, yeah, sure. Some people just call me Green because that's how they know me. From football or from the military, they just be like,
yeah, Green that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Even when they learn my first name, it's like Green because, I mean, honestly, that shit roll off the tongue. That shit smooth.
I couldn't imagine if people call me Myers. I'd be like, fuck.
Myers. What's good, my boy? Mr. Myers, double M.
That sounds like
MM.
That sounds like.
Y'all ever seen The Boys? Y'all ever seen The Boys?
Fuck no.
There's a nigga in The Boys named MM. That's how I'm gonna start calling your ass. MM, Milkman. Yes, sir. Mother's Milk. I'm on your shit. Yeah, that's what his name is. It's the dumbest name for any like strong like figure in a show. Like, cause he's like a strong, dominant like father in the show. And his name is Mother's Milk. No, I don't know where it comes from, but it's so weird.
This is a random ass name to piss him off. Like, why the fuck are you calling?
That's his name. That's what he goes by. He goes by that shit, bro. It's MM, Mother's Milk, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, that shit's so lame. You got Butcher. Like, that's a clean ass name. You got Butcher. They call I forgot what they call the other kid. Huey. Huey is his name. His name is Hugh, but they call him Huey. I'd rather be called that than Mother's Milk. MM is straight, but Mother's Milk, and the motherfucker got on heat too. Like, I seen him in a Snoop Dogg shirt on the show. And he's wearing UNC 4s. I was like, what the fuck this man got on right now? Like, this man got the drip. He got the drip for real.
Hey, Mother's Milk.
Yeah, Mother's Milk. That's
MM.
tough. That's tough.
I don't know why they call him that.
What time are we at, by the way? Where are we at for time?
About an hour 4. Hour and 4
Hour
minutes.
4. All right.
We can hit one more topic and then just close it out. Move on to the next one.
So what we doing next? What you want to do next? You want to do the
Since we're talking about partners. We're talking about partners and family and shit. We gonna talk about that. We're gonna stay on that topic, that fence right now. Let's talk about arranged marriages. Yeah.
That shit pissed me off.
Why? Because you get arranged with this ugly ass bitch.
No,
And you
because
just got
like
nothing in common.
my mom swears, like she'll be like, "Oh, this girl looks good for you. This girl would be great for you, Terrell." Or even for Khalil, she'll be like, "Oh, this girl looks so cute with Khalil." And it's like, Mom, no. What are you talking about? No.
Why? Why no? 'Cause
She
she's ugly?
she picked some pretty girls, but I'm just like,
What's the issue?
sometimes I can just look at a person and be like, why are you getting off camera?
Man, shut that shit up, man. Shut that shit up.
There's pretty girls that I've talked to that I'm just like, we don't vibe right. And we don't have that energy. And I feel like the way my mom picks girls, nah.
Tell me something, man. How does she pick them? If they're pretty, then what the fuck is the issue? Try to get to know them. If they pretty and they got money, it's an arranged marriage. I'm in. I'm in. If they have
the
assets,
energy.
if they have a rich family, if it's a dominant family, I am fucking in. That's why people get married like that. That's why arranged marriages happen. Or they keep the bloodline. They keep that shit healthy and strong. Like gypsies, like marry other gypsies. That's what's happening in this book that I'm reading right now. Shout out to what's this bitch name? Penny? Miss Penny? Invisible Ones. Shout out to you. The book is good, but it's a little slow in the beginning. It's taking a long time to pick up. I'm at like chapter 18 or some shit. But bruh, if the girl is pretty and they come from a family with assets and that's why we're marrying, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna make it work, right? Because I feel like that's what marriage is for. Marriage is for the government. It's for business. It's not for love. You don't get married for love. You get married so that your partner can get your insurance, your health insurance, your dental insurance.
Tell
You
Brittany
get
that.
married-
Tell Brittany that.
I will 100%. I'll tell anybody, and that's facts. It's facts though, for real. Because who goes, oh yeah, I'm deeply in love with this person, I want to get married? Like, no, it's not a fucking fairy tale. That's not why we do that shit. That's why like we do that shit so that we can both make money and it can go towards the household. We can both make money and we can live from it. And we're already dating, like we're already partners. You know what I'm saying? We're partners. We're in a committed relationship. We get married for the business. It's for business. Because when your ass get divorced, you losing your motherfucking money. As a man, you are losing your fucking money. You're losing your assets. You're losing your money. Your ass paying child support because it's a business. It's a business for the government.
I can't lose no money I don't have, King.
That's the thing though. Like with child support, your ass gonna be paying some shit that's wild. This is how you feel about marriage, bro.
Marriage?
Yeah.
Prenup.
Marriage.
Prenup.
Prenup. But like, do you feel like it's like you only get married for love? Because I don't think so. I think
You get married. Like, men innately don't really want to get married. They just do it because the woman wants to get married. That's their goal. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I mean, if I'm with you, I'm with you. But it's like, baby, you want to get the government involved. I mean,
You done pissed off so many women right now. That's crazy.
mean,
so many people.
So
I
many people
know,
got
but
mad.
I really don't care. That's the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But I mean,
It's nice to get married. It's nice to get married. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm just saying if we don't really, it's not really like something we care about. I mean, it's just something that because that's what women like. Like we're two different, genders, so we got different motivations for shit in life. Like we just want, a little thing. That's with us.
I see.
And
I
that's
see the
all that
suit
matters,
coming on.
really.
The
Like that's
suit
all
is
we need.
materializing on him, and the glasses.
Yeah, the suit.
Kevin Samuels.
And the
Is
tie.
that you?
But yeah, it's like, I mean, if you want to do it, I mean, cool. It's just I'm signing a prenup. I ain't trying to be left bad out here in these streets. Like, you never know what the fuck gonna happen. That's just being responsible. In my opinion, people like to talk shit like, oh, you got me signing a prenup. You don't trust me. Da 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 da. No, I'm being responsible. Like the fuck, being
Yeah,
responsible. That's just a responsible way to be things. It's like you making all this money. Like imagine being like an NBA player, right? And then you get married, you don't sign a prenup, and then she fucks some other guy and divorces you and take half your money. You can't do nothing about that. You just take a big L because you love her. Like stop. Like
Let
you
me
could love someone, you could love whoever,
let me play
but
devil's
be
advocate.
responsible. Don't be a fucking stupid.
Let me
Don't be
play,
a dumbass.
let me play devil's advocate. How often you think that will happen though?
often, very often.
You think that'll happen to you? You think your girl is up and
I
leave you for an
mean,
NBA
this is the
player?
thing.
You think she'll
If
be
you
in a
want,
position to be with an NBA player?
Okay, what? Nah,
no,
fuck
but
no.
it's not
But I
just
think
happening. I'm just saying that it'll hurt. It'll hurt a lot for an NBA player that made all this money before he even knew she existed. Right? He should take half of his fucking money. Now imagine that happened to your average guy making 50K a year. You should take half of his shit. The law, same law applied. That hurt way harder. So, like I said, be responsible. Be responsible.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with marriage. There's nothing wrong with all of that. If you want to get married, cool, but sign that prenup. Be
I mean, I'm
responsible
cool with
so you don't end up looking crazy and homeless out here.
right.
That's just the real shit. Like, I don't care how long
But
you know her, how long you think you know her, how much you love her. Do that to be responsible. It's not about love. It's not about any of that. It's about being responsible. That's all it is.
yeah,
And that's I'm gonna tell my kids that too. Like if I have a son, but like make sure you get married, sign a prenup, and I'll tell my daughter. Um, I mean, if he don't, he don't. But if he do, don't be mad.
When you have a
I'm gonna
son,
tell her that.
when you have
With
a
myself,
son,
like get a prenup.
when you have a son, I'm gonna send your ass a little ass suit and some glasses, some spectacles. He's gonna be a little Kevin
Sign that
Samuels.
prenup. Like it's just that simple.
this
It's
son's gonna be
just
toxic
how it
as
is.
fuck. I'm not gonna hold you. This son's gonna be this tall ass toxic jit. For what?
Toxic.
For real.
Jit.
Bro, because it's like, think about it, bro. Like, the world's changing, bro. It ain't like how it was in the '80s, bro. Like, because remember when girls met a guy, they didn't have fucking Instagram to fly out and get blown out by some dude in LA that got money. That wasn't possible. They was stuck with whoever was around at the school, at the football games. That's who they had. That was their pool.
The
So they
average girl
chose
is
out
not
that
getting.
pool.
The average girl is not getting flown out and blown out.
Yes, she is.
The average
not
girl.
gonna-
The average
I'm not-
girl.
But there's
Denzel
so
has
many
a wife.
Instagram models now, bro.
We're talking IG models get flown out and blown out, but the average wife is not gonna get flown out and blown out. The average wife is not getting blown out.
My girl has a friend that she used to work with that is her roommate. Her roommate is like at whatever. She's probably like a 6 or some shit, right? But she got big titties, right? And she's skinny. Apparently, she had sex with Nav. She's an average bitch from Buffalo Wild Wings.
And you
Had
believe
sex with
that?
Nav. Yes, wholeheartedly. Show her the
It's
DMs.
it's that easy. It's like
Show her the DMs.
Does she?
Flew this bitch out. My shit just cracked. Excuse me.
Look.
But yeah, flew. I think it cracked. I'm not sure, but
They
yeah,
hit a
flew
high
this bitch
note.
out.
yeah, it wasn't
I
like
hate those
that in the
naturally.
'80s. That's why when people, when guys that was in that era, like in the '80s, the '90s, the '70s, your shit don't apply here. That shit is not the way it is now. This shit is not like that. Hasn't been like that for the past 30 years. So at this point, that shit is moot, and that shit is it's not plausible. It's like it don't work like that. That true love shit like from back then, that shit don't work like that now. It's just a whole different ball game. So if you gonna play in this game that we are in today, I would advise you get a prenup
I don't
because
play no games, King.
it's exactly, and that's part of it. That fucking prenup.
But look,
Ain't no
I want
fucking games.
let me backtrack. 'Cause I didn't answer. I think marriage has some sort of like basis of love. Yeah, there's a business transaction to it, but I feel
My
like
boy Terrell.
you wouldn't marry a girl you don't fucking love, Rod. Let's keep it a $150 right now. You would not marry a girl you don't love. If you
For
didn't love
assets?
Brittany, you wouldn't marry her. Simple
For
and plain as
assets?
that. For assets. No,
assets?
no, the fuck you wouldn't. If you didn't love her,
Yeah, I
you would
would.
not be tied down to her. You're being tied down to her. You will not do that. No, try to fucking do this shit on the podcast.
Yes, I would, bro.
You would not marry a girl you do not love unless she
Bro,
makes way more money than you. Then it makes sense. But if you talking about you guys are at the same fucking level, you would not marry a girl you don't love. You
So,
wouldn't.
let me
You wouldn't even
explain
go
this to
through
you.
that.
Like I said, if I was in that scenario where I had bread, right? I came from a family that had bread. Her family got bread. We're two powerful families, and she's pretty. They'd be like, yeah, look at the daughter of so and so. You know what I'm saying? It's, Mr. Gates, like, this is his daughter, whatever. She's pretty. She's like, yeah, like, you know, like, you're a handsome man, and like we go out on a few dates, and they like our family wants us to get married. I would do that shit. For
And
the
then you can
power
fall in love with
and the
her
assets.
later as you're married.
Later.
I'm not talking about the arranged marriage. I'm talking about marriage in general.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Arranged marriages.
No, I'm talking about like
Regular
marriage,
marriage.
like regular marriage. There's a basis of love. Like you wouldn't marry a girl you don't love. Like you
Oh, I
gotta
mean,
love her.
definitely, it's cool to have like a beautiful wife. You know, one that you have built things with. You have like a wife, and like that's your wife. Yeah, that's really nice. But I was talking about arranged marriages.
Oh yeah, when it comes to
Nah.
arranged marriages, yeah, you don't have to love the person. Like that's business. But like I'm talking about marriages in general have a basis of,
Well,
of
hell yeah.
have a foundation of love. I thought that's what we were talking about. I'm like, damn, y'all are wild as fuck. If y'all don't think marriage
mean,
has some sort of love in it for the average person.
some sort of it. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
piece
I
of
think
it.
so.
I give you that.
It's a piece. Like I had my ex, she wanted to get married by the Catholic Church, and I'm not Catholic, so I was just like, why does it matter? I mean, but that's something that she wanted to do because like she was Catholic, even though she was like absent for a majority of like our relationship. You know what I'm saying? And she was like a newfound Catholic towards the end of it. And yeah, how you feel about that, Enzo?
Catholic, huh?
Catholic.
Newfound, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's like she grew up in a Catholic household, but like didn't really
And
like.
they didn't really fuck with it. Didn't really follow the,
No.
they didn't really follow the code or nothing.
Not until like 3 years in, and I was just like, what the fuck?
So like after the bullshit,
yeah, after everything,
nah,
It's dead.
that's
It's dead
dead.
as fuck.
Yeah, after
And
the
I also
bullshit.
had a friend like when I was talking to her about it. He's like, "Boy, you better drop a rack on that ring." I looked at her like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she was like, "Yeah, like you should drop a rack. Like he should spend a third of his money like on that ring." I looked at this bitch like, "You are insane." And that's why your ass ended up back with some body that you threw away in high school, because you got these crazy ass. She got these crazy ass. What's the fucking word?
Expectations.
There you go. Thank you, King. That shit didn't make no sense to me. Why does somebody need to drop bread on you if they really love you and you really love them? Why would you want them to
Red
spend
flag.
a third of their
prenup.
check to get you a ring when
Prenup,
that money
red
can
flag.
go into the actual wedding? Doesn't that make sense to you?
Would y'all want to have
I
a
mean,
big
I
wedding?
would do that. That's
Would y'all want to have a big
Yeah.
wedding or a small
If
wedding?
I could, yeah, I would. Like if I had the money for it,
Mhm.
definitely. I would invite family members. I would invite y'all. I would invite my dad's side of the family, my mom's, her side of the family. We could have the shit catered. Like I would have. It would be a conjoining of the families. It'd be a very beautiful moment.
Would you want it
If
like
I could.
at a beach or like where would you want it?
I wouldn't want it at a beach. I would want it in an enclosed area. But I don't know what are good areas. Like an area where we can make it all fancy, like a big ass ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah, like a
I would want
ballroom.
that. Yeah, because I think those are cool. Like you have the huge tables, well, not the huge tables, but like the round tables, and then we have like the decorations and like there's a DJ and like
And there's like a
You know what I'm
dance
saying?
floor, like a room for that.
that's
Somewhere.
what I would want. That's the kind of wedding I want. Just because the dance floor, I feel like, and the food and like just all the different family members just being around is important to me.
Yeah.
That's what I would like. And it's the same things with like how they do quinceañeras,
Mhm.
like how they have them like in those buildings, something like that. I forgot what they're called. I can't think right now, but that's what I would want, something like that. Like, don't get me wrong, weddings on beaches and like in fields and stuff like that, or like nice houses with large fields and stuff like that. They're also nice, but in Florida, that shit is not finna fly. First of all, I sweat within 2 seconds of me going outside. I'm dry right now. If I walk to my car right now, if I walk to my car sat down for 10 seconds to reach into my console to get some shit out and come back, there would be sweat on my head. Because that's how fucking fast my body is. It's just like, heat, get him, hydrate him, heat, wash his ass down, rinse him off, cool this man off. Because that's just how I am. So it's like, that shit isn't flying.
Denzel, you will have the same type of wedding then? Like indoor, like type shit?
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, this is me. I'm about to piss some people off.
He just wants to go to the courthouse and that's it.
Bro, like,
This
I'll
don't love a
get-
girl for real.
I'll get like a wedding, but I want like a private wedding. You know what I'm saying? Not like at a courthouse, but like,
Like eloping type shit? Like you two just run off and get like the person and then that's it?
yeah, something like that. And we just go somewhere. We just have like a good ass moment. We probably go somewhere, get it like someone to pronounce his man and wife, and probably have like a part, like maybe like a wedding ceremony later, like just like a party for us. We're already married, but it's like a party.
This
You know
man
what I'm
here,
saying? Like,
this man here is mocha for real. This man has some light skin in him. That's some light skin shit. Going to get a
but I wouldn't want. I'm
romantic.
I'm not like a put that shit all over the internet type of dude. So I'll have that shit like it'd be just me and her. Like, I got like 10 racks. Where you want to go? Where you want to go? What we doing?
Look how I got
Like, what
dark
we
and
about to do?
intimate for him too. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, sir. Lover boy
Yes, sir.
Denzel. Lover boy Zell.
But that's what I would do. Me personally, she probably wouldn't be down for that. She probably was out seeing her like, and be like, "Nah, I want to have a wedding. I want everybody to see." Da 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 da. You know how that go. But that's just
The last girl I had, we talked about like if we were to get married, like she was like, oh, like whatever you want to do. If you want to just go and like we can get eloped type shit, like go get married without anybody knowing. She was down for it. I was like, that's cool because sometimes you want to keep shit private. I would like a beach on the beach, a wedding on the beach. That shit just sounds fire, but maybe not down here because like Rod said, it's a little too hot here. So maybe a different beach somewhere else.
maybe
but,
Virginia Beach.
something
Maybe
like
up
that.
a couple states.
Facts, where it's kind of like we get that good heat, that good cool heat type shit. But I'm down to get eloped too. I'm super private. I'm super mysterious. So like I keep my shit on the low anyway. So might as well just go and get eloped with a girl. Fuck it. But where we at with time?
It's time to wrap this shit up. So,
Let's wrap this one. Go ahead, Rod. Send us out.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode. If you made it to the end, if you made it all the way through, I love you. You hold a special place in my heart. We all love you. We all cherish you.
22 weeks consistent.
22 weeks, man. Shit crazy. We're really getting old here, and I ain't gonna lie, by episode 40, I will have quit my job because I'm getting tired of this shit. It take up too much of my fucking time. 20 hours a week is still too much. I don't care. It's too much. I'm gonna struggle out here. It's time to go through a new training arc. But yeah, this was your boys Denzel, Terrell, and Rod, and we out.
Adios.